guys, so today's video is going to be about shoot problems that aren't a direct cause of MCTD but occur maybe because of different variables of MCTD, so it could be a side effect of medication. So there are so many offshoot problems with MCTD that you know, when you first get diagnosed, you just have a list of symptoms and you kind of just think, well, that's that. But it's not. There's just so much that just extends over. And I know that the disease has changed my body more than I could have ever even imagined. And I'm not just talking a little bit of joint swelling. I've gone through acne, I've gone through hair loss, I've gone through bloating, I've gone through throwing up, acid reflux, stretch marks, weight gain. You know, there's just so much that you just don't think. And to some people it may be superficial, and to some people it might seem not so much. But when you're going through it and you're experiencing it, it can really lower your confidence and it can actually put you into depression. So I'm hoping with these videos that I make, I'm going to be able to help you deal with some of those things the way that I've dealt with them. And I hope that this will maybe, if you don't suffer with MCTD, this will maybe open your eyes a bit more to the things that we go through. And I hope that if you do have MCTD, you can relate to it. So with medication, most people would say, well, if it was to give you a really bad side effect, why would you continue to take it? But some of the side effects of certain medications could be weight gain or acne or fatigue. But the reality is that when you have a medication that might work for you and might help you to move, you're going to pick that over superficial things like acne or weight gain. And I'm not saying that there are some people who don't believe that that's important, and there are things to me that's really important as well. I don't want to have acne and I don't want to gain weight, but at the same time, I want to be able to function every single day, so I kind of have to pick what is best for me. But weight gain and acne are some of the biggest ones. A lot of times with steroid injections, you will gain water weight. You'll just blow out. You'll have like a moon face, where your face bloats out like this. And I remember a few years ago I had a steroid infusion, which is literally just steroid liquid in a drip in my arm. And I had quite a high powerful dose of that, and I really bloated outwards. The problem is though is that once I'd lost all the water weight from not having the steroids anymore, I'd actually, because the weight had been lost so quickly, I'd actually got stretch marks from it, which I know to some people, again, that's not really a huge deal, and to some people it is a big deal. And then there are going to be some women out there who will say, well, you know, I've had children, so I've got stretch marks, etc. But I don't have children, and I would accept it more if I have had children. But the thing that annoyed me more than anything was that the steroid infusion didn't even work, so I might as well just never had it done, and then I wouldn't have any stretch marks. But unfortunately it didn't work out that way. You know, the illness will change the way you look as well. It's like I was saying in the first video that I made, I'm probably going to have the sausage fingers appearance for the rest of my life. This was confirmed with my rheumatologist only yesterday actually, that even though I'm in remission and even though I'm feeling quite healthy, I'm gonna have sausage fingers forever. So if you missed my video, so here, this padding here, that is the sausage fingers, and that's caused by the Scleroderma side of MCTD. It can be a little bit sore at times when I'm trying to say, like, undo a bottle. Now I'm in remission, it's not so bad. for a lot of people as well, the offshoot problems of MCTD means visiting various different departments at the hospital. So when you have MCTD, you will see a rheumatologist and you will probably have regular checkups with your GP. I'm really not sure on the differences between the UK and America so much, but this is all from the UK perspective, so mostly the NHS. You know, the problem with that as well is, you know, I'll talk about this a bit more in depth in another video, but you then need to see more than one department. So you need to see more specialist doctors other than your rheumatologist. Right now I'm seeing the rheumatologist, the respiratory doctor, the gastroenterologist and a gynecologist. The gynecologist one is actually for a different problem, which I will talk about in another video as well. So there's all these other problems and all these offshoot problems, so hair loss and acid reflux and stomach bleeds, and you know, we can get severe migraines and severe head problems, so some people have to see a neurologist. But the gastroenterologist I see because I have gastroesophageal disease. I think that's how you say it properly. Basically, it means that I have acid reflux 24/7. I'm on medication every single day that helps to prevent acid reflux. But in anatomical terms, I guess the way that it is properly described is that your esophagus, which is the tube from your mouth into your stomach, which is where your food goes, between your stomach and your esophagus there's almost like a trap door, and what this does is it stops the stomach acid going up the esophagus and helps the food go down. So when the food comes down, the trapdoor will open and the food will drop into the stomach. But my trapdoor, as it were, is actually open all the time. And what this means is that my stomach is actually slightly higher than an average person's, and stomach acid will more easily travel up my esophagus. So I went through a phase for about 6 to 9 months a couple of years ago where after every single meal I ate, and this is really not an exaggeration, every single thing I ate I would throw up because my stomach couldn't hold the food. And it got to a point where I was being sick that often that I was actually thinking I'm going to need to be hospitalised because I felt so weak, I felt so tired, my muscles in my torso hurt because of the vomiting, my throat hurt all the time, my mouth was just so dry, and it actually rotted my teeth. When you're throwing up bile 2 to 3 times a day, it actually yellowed my teeth a lot more, and I did actually lose a lot of weight, because obviously I couldn't keep food down for so long. And it was really embarrassing as well because when I was going out for meals with friends, it would be like I'd eat this lovely dinner and I'd have to excuse myself, go to the bathroom and throw it all up again. And it was so obvious one day that a lady in the toilets actually thought that I was bulimic. So there's the whole embarrassment side to it as well. And I noticed as well that if I don't take my acid reflux medication, that if I miss a day, the next day I'm guaranteed to have acid reflux. So in my mind, unless there is something surgically they could do about it, I'm probably going to be on those tablets for the rest of my life. I have to have an endoscopy, basically the camera down your throat. I've had to have one of those before. I'm going to have another one soon because the doctors suspect that I have a stomach bleed. He thinks that it could be due to all of my medication. I'm really not sure how that's going to pan out. They have to be cautious and they have to obviously check because of the tablets that I'm on. that's the other thing as well. We're on quite a lot of steroids, which can actually cause some osteoporosis in the future. We're on a lot of toxic medication. One of the most toxic medications that is commonly used to treat MCTD is called methotrexate. There are a lot of people who can't take it because of the severe side effects. I'm one of those very lucky people that I can actually take it, and it has been an absolute blessing and a godsend. You can take it orally, so in tablet form, or you can have it in an injectable form. I've never been given the injections, I've always taken the tablets. And when I was first diagnosed, I was on a very, very high dosage, which was extremely toxic. And I had to have blood tests every 2 weeks. And what they do is they test your liver function. Now, because I've been on it for such a long time, a rheumatologist actually said to me that the hair loss that I've been experiencing can be due to that. Methotrexate can cause hair loss, but he said unless it's to the point where I'm actually getting bald patches, he's not going to stop the medication, which was an agreement between the two of us because, again, the methotrexate is what helps me to function every day. So a little bit of hair loss is just one of those kinds of things. But it has actually gone better since I've actually dyed my hair and stopped using bleach. There's also horrible back pain, and because the other thing that people don't realise is that when you have hip pain or knee pain, you don't actually walk properly, and so you have to visit a physiotherapist to try and correct your balance of walking. But most people, when they have an injury in a limb, their natural instinct is to limp. That can actually cause more problem long term, and my knees were ballooning up because my hips would be going, and those that know me, they know that my big thing with MCTD is I have really severe hip pain, which I just can't even walk properly. I'm literally waddling. My knees were just swelling up, and so I said, this is the rheumatologist, this is getting ridiculous. And she said, well, actually the reason why your knees are swelling up is because you're not walking properly. You're putting more pressure on your knees because you're not balancing yourself correctly. So I had to go to the physiotherapist to try and teach myself to walk properly again, and to try and walk properly with my hip pain. So even though I'm suffering with this hip pain, I still have to try and walk normally to try and not screw my knees up. And I noticed that if I do waddle, that the next day my knees are going to be so sore. It's kind of like a catch-22 swings and roundabouts sort of situation, I mean, do you kind of try and make yourself a bit more comfortable to not put your hips in further pain but then cause more issues for your knees, or do you try and save your knees by walking normally but then thus causing more problems, more pain with your hips? I mean, those are the types of things that we have to think about all the time, and normal people don't really realise this. And that's the other thing as well, we have to think about absolutely every single move we're going to make. So as an example, I mean, it sounds so stupid, but so say for example, I wake up in the morning and I like to go downstairs in my pyjamas, I like to have my breakfast, maybe watch a little bit of TV, I'll check my emails and the page on my iPad. So I get up and I pick my glasses up, I pick my iPad and my phone up, and I pick my dressing gown up and a pair of socks, and I walk downstairs. But then say if I don't pick my iPad up, say if I forget that, I'm going to have to run all the way back up the stairs to pick my iPad up, to go all the way back down the stairs. And it just causes me so much aggro because it's exhausting walking up and down stairs, because when your hips hurt, when your knees hurt, when your back hurts, when everything hurts, it takes so much energy. So I have to literally think about my every single move, what do I need? What do I need to take with me? Rather than making 2 or 3 trips in one go. And I'm sure that a lot of MCTD sufferers can apply this to their work or school or college or just everyday life. But to most people, they wouldn't think of things like that. They'd just sort of get up and walk around and do whatever, Oh, well, if I've forgotten my iPad, I'll just go back upstairs and go and get it. It's not a problem. but that's not the same for us. So yeah, I think that's everything that I want to talk about. Evie wants to say bye bye. Oh, Evie, say bye bye. You look so depressed. You know, are you? You're such a privileged kitty. Yes, you're such a privileged kitty. Mwah. Mwah. Love my kitty cat. Bye. The fringe is annoying me. They're not really angled right, but that'll do. The way it is probably I've forgotten what I was gonna say. That's really annoying. What was I gonna say? Oh, I really hate it when I forget what I was talking about and what I was going to say. Endoscopy? Is it an endoscopy? The one down your throat? Endoscopic. Excuse me. The most popular ones, that is Nyam Nyam. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I said? I was like, Nyam. The other thing as well that people don't realise is that when you have... Oh crap, I just knocked the camera.